Shut the fuck up.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present our Lord Protector of the Realm, Mr. Frederick Wester.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Is this mic on? Do you hear anything? No. Okay. Then I'll just speak from my heart. It's really good to have you here. We have people from over 15 countries, from as far away as Japan, America, Uruguay, Ireland. Bill, are you here? No, he is not. Apparently he's not. The first time I joined Paradox, the first time I set foot in the office was in August 2003. It was just before the launch of Victoria and Empire Under the Sun. We had 15,000 forum members at the time. We're now up at 527,000 forum members. And I guess a few of you in here are members of our forum, and we really appreciate that. And it's been a great ride since then. When we launched Victoria 2, you couldn't even install the German version of the game. You had to download a patch. First install it in English and download a patch to make the game work. So when people say games were better in the good old days, they're not all right. Even if Victoria, once you installed it, was a good game. No one can doubt that. The first fan gathering we actually held was when CK1 was released. And we sent an email to everyone in the forums, like 18,000 or so people, of which 18 showed up. And we thought that was great, right, Johan? So we just created a LAN and we played Crusader Kings against each other, and it crashed every 5 minutes, but we still had an amazing time. So when we decided to pick up this tradition again last year, we did the same thing that we did in 2004. We sent out an email to everyone in the forums without checking anything, which resulted in a line across the block here and chaos in the elevators going up. We have no idea if people were over 18 or not when we had beer here in the office. So we have grown as a company, but the mindset obviously is still the same. and that is really amazing to see. Like we said, we just celebrated 500,000 forum members, and the best thing with that is that we never bribe people to become members of our forums. Now, we started giving away some games. Okay, I'll give you that much. But we never say, like, you can enter the beta if you're a part of the forum or anything. No cheap tricks like that. People register on our forums because they think they have something to say. I always add think, because not all people do have a lot of good things to say, but most people do say something, which is always nice. And I am so proud to be the CEO of this company, because not only do we have a great team, you're going to see some of our games now, but we also have the best forum on the internet, and you guys are a part of creating the atmosphere and the good spirit around that. Give yourselves an applause. So, here starts my speech that goes on now for 45 minutes. Hold on to your beer. No, some people asked me yesterday, we were a part, for the first time in history, to be a part of the short list of publishers that are pre-approved for the PlayStation 4. We've never done anything with Sony in the past, but we have been a PC publisher. We've been PC gamers, all of us. All of us here play games, enjoy games, and love what we do. So when we saw Sony presenting their new machine, which is virtually a PC, we said, we won the battle, right? We won. We stand as winners, and therefore we can take the defeated and join their cause as well. And therefore we're going to make games not only for the PC, which you typically play in front of your computer, right? In the office, in your working space at home. But now you should be able to play most of our games within soon in your living room, on the bus, on your iPad, or on your tablet computer. When I start drinking beer, I also make a lot of promises. So make sure I keep these promises, right? Email me, it's frederick@paradoxplaza.com. Like, remember what you said about the tablet things. But I'm not going to talk anymore, because with us here today is a living legend of Paradox, and the wizard of grand strategy games worldwide, and the man behind many hours spent on Europa Universalis, Crusader Kings, Hearts of Iron, and well, that's all, I guess. He's here to present more of Europa 4. It's Johan Andersson.
The sad thing is, my voice is cracking up. Do anyone have any? The cold is killing me. Could anyone get me a beer so I can have something to drink? Kirsten, get your seat. Okay, Europa Universalis 4. I've been working with the Europa Universalis brand for. God, I sound like one of those BizDev people when I say like brands and stuff, but.
Those people?
Yes.
I'm right here.
Sorry.
These people?
Yeah, but I've been working with Europa Universalis since '97. Funny story is that actually I was working at Funcom in the mid-90s, and I was bored one day and wanted to buy more board games, so I saw this. He's playing the game in the background, so you have something cool to look at when I'm talking about EU. And Kirsten is technically the best player at EU at the office. So
Don't say that. Because,
yeah, yeah, I'm gonna tell you a few fun stuff. If you cheat, no pay rise this year. Okay, the funny story is that I buy this board game EU 96, 95, 96 sometimes, and go like, oh, this is a cool game, but it's never going to be playable. And when I'm getting slightly bored of making console games, I'm thinking like, okay, maybe I should find somewhere else to work, and I really want to move back to Sweden. And then I see that there's a little company in Stockholm that wants to make a computer game of that board game. I'm going like, yay, that's awesome. And I moved back to Stockholm, started working on it, and I'm still stuck working on this brand. What? Okay. Matt, can you put up the... Do I need to talk high?
We can't do anything about it.
Okay, so... but the streaming people will hear me. Oh well. I should talk louder then, I guess. EU4, if we're going to do a small little presentation of what the game is about, I assume that most of you have played Europa Universalis. So what's the new cool stuff that are pretty awesome? As you see there, Kirsten is playing around with the court. We have administrative, diplomatic, and military abilities. Hey, it's cool pointing with a sword, don't you think? I need to get a sword at the office all the time. Can you get back to the court screen, please? At the court, you have all these like abilities, the administrative, diplomatic, and military. All of those fits into your power, and the power is where you will basically use for buying technology, buying ideas. What do we want to do with the power scheme in EU? We want to have so that countries have an ebb and flow of how they're doing. Everything's tied to the skills of your monarch. This is pretty awesome because we play this game quite a lot in multiplayer at the office, and when people are going like, oh shit, I get a bad monarch, and they're going like, so I scramble, I don't recruit as much leaders, I try to really keep it simple and safe, but when you get the 5-5-5 or 5-6-5 or 5 whatever leaders or monarchs, you go like, yes, it's a golden era, and you're praying like, please don't die, please don't die. And then you, of course, they die and end up with a 101 leader in a 20-year regency. So the game currently is in rather decent shape. Can you just go through the little screens? We have diplomacy, all these nice things. You can click on another country. Then you can see like different actions you can do. You can quickly see directly here if someone will accept or not. No more like no more sending to other nations, like spamming them and in a hope of them getting to accept. Go to next screen. We have the economy. It's more simple. I shouldn't really say simple because it's still far more complex, but you don't have to like calculate monthly and yearly income in a weird way that everyone keeps whining about. Go to next one, please. We have trade. The new trade system is pretty awesome, but we've talked about that in pretty much every preview, so we're not going to go into any details there. Actually, we can show it.
You should always go to Johan if you have questions later.
Yeah.
Detailed questions.
Yeah, technology. 3 different cool ones. We also have ideas. France have pretty cool national ideas. We keep nerfing them because France is a big blue blob that needs to be eradicated. Just ask Karsten. He spent the last multiplayer game trying to eradicate France from the face of the earth. It's of course because he plays Burgundy, so but cool. We also have missions and decisions. Not much been changed there since EU3. The government of rebel screen is also pretty awesome because you can see like if you actually had rebels, which France doesn't have here, you would be able to negotiate with them, all this cool little stuff. You can also spend directly power to reduce your war exhaustion. So if you have a monarch with very high administrative ability, you can just reduce your war exhaustion. So it means like if you have a good leader, you'll be able to survive better. Of course, stability you can boost at times. Religion is cool. There are 3 religions that have unique mechanics currently: Catholics, Orthodox, and Muslims. Can we go back to... Yeah. We also have the military screen, where you can recruit leaders. Interesting little thing is that you can make your heir into a leader, so that you can kill him if he has crappy stats. That's basically a little quick overview. You've seen the game here in the background while Carson is playing it, and I can tell you that the game is about... If this had been in the good old days, as we call them, the game I would have shipped a month or 2 ago, and people on the forum would have been going, "Oh, this is a buggy Paradox release." But we don't do that stuff anymore. We don't really need desperately to get the money. We have some money in the bank, I hope. Do you have that, Fred?
I hope so.
Yeah. That's EU4. Cool. Try to grab me before I collapse from my fever and cold if you want to ask me any questions. Cool. Now, thank you. Where is Dawn? Dawn? Yeah. Now we're gonna go into the pointy stuff. We're gonna switch game.
Alright. How many people here are Victoria fans? Oh, there's a few of you. But you seem to like Victoria though, so they let me make a sequel, or an expansion at least. And this time we're focusing on a few things that people felt. Alright, does this work? Okay, I'll just try and scream, alright? So we started out and we thought, what things do people want? And we went through the forum and checked out the cool stuff that people want. So they wanted more colonization, new naval system, more interesting diplomacy. So we started with those things. And next. This is not one of them, but this is one of the things I really wanted. And it's a newspaper. And it is to inject much more flavor into the game. So you'll get a newspaper about twice a year. And depends how much stuff is going on. So you'll get a mix of information about what's going on in the war, you know, things like new parties. You also get insight into what the AI is doing and thinking. So, for example, here's an article about Travancore and who are they worried about, and this can give you things like insight into who is about to attack me, things like that. There's a few different articles like that. Also summarizes events and things. Alright. The mic doesn't work. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, I'll try and stand a bit closer then, but then I can't see the screen. Alright. But anyway, we wanted to add more flavor to the game, and this way you can see what's going on in the world. And with, you know, biannually, you get a feeling for what's going on that you might not have picked up on before. Things like you can also get help with trade. It will show you goods price changes, things like that. And we have about 60 of these newspapers. There's different ones for different countries, ideologies. So if you turn fascist, you get a new newspaper. This is actually fascist British newspaper. Right, next. Next up is the new change to diplomacy, which is we call a crisis system. And it's basically a way of resolving things that would normally go into wars diplomatically. So this, for example, is it's a crisis to, I don't know if you can read the text, but it's basically to liberate parts of Greece from the Ottoman Empire. And what you're seeing here is that Britain is backing Greece in this claim. And the Ottomans here also have backers like Russia, and then we have France. And France is sitting on the fence. They're sitting in between the two sides. And that basically means that they can go to either side they want. You can also make them offers. So, say if I'm Britain here, or I'm the Ottoman Empire, I can make them an offer like, okay, so if you do this, I will give you one of Britain's colonies if we win. Or, so basically you can bribe them. And both sides can do this. And you see here, every time something happens, there's events. Every time you bribe someone, they say no. The temperature of the crisis goes up. If this thing here reaches boiling point, then you will get a war. So, this is a super microphone. All right.
Let's
Plug it in over there. Björn.
Yep.
Björn, here. You wanted it in front, right?
Yeah. Is that gonna just take a second, or should I keep going? All right. So apparently we're gonna actually be able to hear what I'm saying soon.
We're still a small company at heart.
Yeah. All right. I am not singing.
Yes.
Testing. Is it working? No? No work? Hello, something. I think it's working now, right? No.
Did you switch that one?
What? It is working, no. Yeah. I don't know, it's something's happening, nothing.
Did you switch that one on?
Yeah, it's on. So we're screwed. It didn't help at all. Alright.
It helps a little bit. It helps more than talking.
Alright, so apparently helps a little bit, does it? Alright, cool. Did anyone hear anything of this? Oh well, you can come ask me afterwards as well. So anyway, just go to the next one. Right. the other thing we've done that is a big system is colonization was not as cool as it could be. So we've got a completely new system for that. And this time it's based on what we call colonial power, which is based off how big is your navy, as well as technology and stuff. So the more ships you have, the more shipyards you have, the more you can project your colonial power across the world. And what you do with your colonial power is you plant it into colonies, for once. So you'll have this race where you put down stakes in points, and people have to match you. And if you win out, you progress to the next step, and you can eventually make it a colony. The thing that makes this more than just waiting to clock up points is that you don't actually clock up these points. It's a fixed pool that you have. So if I'm doing this colonization, I won't be able to colonize anywhere else if I don't have enough points. And say I make this into a dominion or a protectorate, that ties up my points. So I need to free them to release more points. You're going to get something that is more historically accurate. You're going to get someone releasing Canada to be able to focus more on, say, Africa, or to keep India more as a colony. That kind of stuff. And the different levels you see here are bought with different amounts of points. So you have things like expeditions and outposts, and towards the end here you build military sort of fortifications. Right. As you can see, these also have a temperature meter here, and it works a bit like a crisis. So if two people keep getting to the same level, that means that there's no clear winner, and this keeps going on, then temperature will rise. So eventually you will get an international crisis over this colony, and the other great powers are going to be able to come in there and basically say, you know, which one's right, which side am I going to be on. And hopefully, since it's only a colony, it's going to have a peaceful resolution, but it could also turn into a colonial war. Right, next. Right, and then magic. Awesome. All right. All right. I'll finish anyway, and I'll take some questions or something quick. All right. So this is the last big bit here, and it's the new naval system. We completely changed the way naval combat works, and the old system was not very accurate to the way things were historically. So we wanted more this sort of race where early on people raced the big ships. Then big ships became big and powerful, and people started with torpedo boats that were great at taking out big ships. But then you needed your screens to protect your big ships against the torpedo boats. You needed a mixed fleet, that kind of stuff. There's not actually any torpedoing going on here because this is way too early. But what you can see here is that you have combat going on. Combat is between one and more than one ship. But you can see here, so for example, you see ranges. New ships have ranges. So that gives you a reason to... The big ships have more range, smaller have smaller range, but they're faster, kind of stuff. So also you see wreckages here, where things haven't quite worked out for them. And also there's a seeking target thing that is basically controlling... so it's advantages like speed and communication penalties and such. Right, I think that was it. And next one. Right, and then questions. And did anyone actually hear the starting parts? Because I think I could just quickly go over them again. Do we have anything after me? Does anyone know? Does everybody else run away? What? Sure.
How will it keep the British Empire from releasing the Indians instead of Australia?
Alright, so he basically asked how the AI will cope with the new colonial system, and like how will they release, why won't they release India instead of, say, Australia? The way that works is based on scoring. So the higher the level of technology and the more of your own accepted culture live there, the cheaper it is to do this. So for example, you could release India, but it would cost you a lot more and you wouldn't gain as many points doing it as you would, say, releasing Australia or Canada. Right. Yeah. All right.
Have you done any changes to the westernization?
So he's asking if there's any changes to westernization, and there's no big changes. We're going to do a little bit of rebalancing stuff though, because for example, I don't like that you cannot go the military route very well at the moment, because it punishes you research-wise. But other than that, there's not going to be any big changes to it. You have more levels of vassalization now because of the colonial stuff. I mean, a dominion is kind of like a vassal, but the puppet, that's not changed. Right. Any more questions? No? You can come talk to me afterwards if you want to have, if you have any more questions, details and stuff. All right, thanks.